All right. Now, for everybody to know, I am talking with Vernard Alsberry, the mayor of Hazelcrest, Illinois, which is how far is that outside of Chicago?
About 40 minutes out.
About 40 minutes. See, I told people I know people in high places. They didn't believe me, so I had to get on here. This has been the hardest interview for me to catch up with. So let's hurry up. I know you're busy. I appreciate you taking your time out to do this with me. This will be aired on YouTube probably the next day or two. Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. College, how did you come from, I knew you grew up in Atgeld Gardens. We're not gonna hold it against you, but how did you get from Atgeld Gardens to become the mayor of Hazelcrest? Step to college, I know you was in the Air Force, things like that.
Well, it's a long story, so I'll give you the short of the long story.
Okay.
Initially, I went to George Washington Carver High School out in Atgeld. From there, I did do some time, short time in college at Illinois State University, where I did a couple of years there. Matter of fact, I played football my freshman and sophomore year there. But being young, just 16 years old, I went totally ready for college. Left Illinois State, went to the University of Minnesota Crookston for a while. And then from there, I played ball there a while. Then I decided to come back home, trying to rediscover myself. And I ended up going to the Air Force. Spent 10 years in the United States Air Force, where I worked initially in material supplies and actually cross-trained in over to physical therapy, and was a physical therapy technician 6 years in the United States Air Force, left as a staff sergeant. When I was in the Air Force, I did go to community college and got my associate's degree in physical therapy and another associate degree in allied health sciences. Upon leaving there, I decided to go back home to Chicago, and I'm going to Governor State University, moving to University of Park, Illinois, and received my undergrad in health administration and a graduate degree in public administration.
Okay.
So that's my background as far as education. I got involved in politics just almost totally by accident. Living in the village of Hazelcrest, I was involved with the one of the commissions. I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Stayed on the commission about 2.5 years. And then I was approached by now State Representative Will Davis. I had unsuccessfully run for village trustee of Hazelcrest. Just decided to run, and when I ran, I lost by 11 votes. But I just did it because I felt it was my civic duty to run. When I lost, it was okay. I said, at least I tried. But a couple months later, I knew now State Representative Will Davis, because we both attended Governor State University together. And he decided to run for state representative when State Representative Murphy decided not to run in his district, which was a 30th district. He decided not to run for re-election, but to run against a new person that was running for office, and that was, at that time, Mr. Robert Kelly, who was running for the newly developed 38th legislative district for state representatives. So Murphy decided to run for that district and not run for his old seat. Will Davis decided to run for his seat, and I met with State Representative Will Davis now at a Wendy's. We were just talking after a meeting. We had a meeting with, at that time, Ms. Robert Kelly, who decided to run, Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr., who was at that time the congressperson, Mayor Lindsey Jones, who was a mayor at that time. He's Judge Lindsey Jones now, but he was a mayor in Olympia Fields during that time. And State Representative David Miller, who was a new state rep at that time, who had a dental office in the village of South Holland. So, Dalton. And so we met and discussed how could the Southland work together to develop a good, stable electoral base with these new legislators that were running. Robert Kelly being an individual running for the new 38th, Will Davis running for the 30th district. Again, David Miller already sitting in the seat as a state rep, and state U.S. Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. was leading the charge along with, at that time, Mayor Nancy Jones from the village of Olympia Fields, who's now a judge of Nancy Jones. After the meeting, myself and State Representative Will Davis met at Wendy's. He asked me to be his campaign manager. I told him that I just lost the election. And why would he want me to be his campaign manager? And he said, well, at least you ran. And so that began my, I don't know if it's an accession or descension in world of politics. I always compare it to the Matrix, where he actually take the red pill or the green pill. Probably should have took the green pill. Because when I look back, I think of, at that time, I thought in politics, whoever had the most signs were going to win the election, not understanding the idiosyncrasies and the hard work that goes into actually running for political office. But he ran. We had a great campaign. It was 3 other people running in that campaign, so it was a tough campaign. I learned quite a bit. Congressman Jackson at the time actually helped financially all of the David Miller, Robin Kelly, and Will Davis run their campaigns financially. It was a contentious campaign because they was running against, at that time, David Miller was running against the Shaws. He was running for David Miller's seat. Will was running against 2 individuals who won, Dick Kelly and Brenda Thompson out of Harvey. And Robin was running against Murphy, Representative Murphy at that time. So it was a very hard race. At the end of the day, we end up winning. Will Davis ended up winning. All of us ended up winning that race. Will Davis, Robert Kelly, David Miller all came out victorious. That was my first taste of victory, first campaign I ever ran. And after that campaign, Will Davis talked me into running for trustee again and supported me during that campaign. And that was 2003, I became a village trustee in the village of Hazelcrest. So that was my start into the world of politics, local politics. Again, winning my first election in 2003, coming back and winning a second term in 2006, 2007, and learned a lot. I ran for mayor the first time, and I lost to Bob, at that time, Dr. Bob Donaldson from Government State University, lost by 11 votes, but I still held my trustee seat for 2 years, which was interesting during that time. We got some things done. We did have a few council wars during that time, but got through that. I ran for my 3rd term and lost for trustee, but it was great. God's good, because at the time, my wife, Diane, was diagnosed with leukemia for the first time. And so I got out of politics for a couple of years, just worked together to help her heal back to a healthy state. We owned a kids fitness center for those years, and we had to kind of let that go also. At that time, we both were running a physical therapy company for many, many years. She's a physical therapist. She was a physical therapist, and I was a physical therapist assistant. So we had a home health agency that we ran for approximately 12, 13 years. Ran for a second term, ran for mayor again. She talked me into running for mayor. I didn't want to run. She said, you do. So, 40 years I ran for mayor the second time. We were successful at that second time. Great campaign, had some great people, were very able to organize, made some friends along the way with, my relationship with Robin Kelly, relationship with Will Davis, a new relationship that was built with state senator at that time, brand new state senator, Michael Hastings. Those relationships and the work of also at that time, Cook County President Toki Prinkwinkle. We actually won that election against the incumbent, Dr. Donaldson.